Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FWDs Milan.
It's Walsh.
How we doing?
We're podding, baby.
Sunday night. We've been prepping for the pile-up. Pile-up's coming. Pile-up's close. Now we have to record the night of the games. 1 day off. Next game week on Tuesday. How does it feel?
It's great. I love fantasy.
Fantasy. Friendly mates loving fantasy Premier League. Yeah.
How about you? How does it feel for you?
I'm a little overwhelmed. Not going to lie.
Okay.
Just coming in. But it's like a nice thing that I have to, my deadline is just basically tomorrow. I just have to make my move instead of like being like, oh, let's pod again on Thursday, figure out my moves. It's just like whatever I'm thinking.
Yeah, I almost made moves today, but I didn't. I waited for this.
I'm surprised you didn't treat us with like a cheeky 12er or maybe an 8er or something like that.
Well, I didn't go high enough last week. I didn't do Foden to Jota, so fuck me.
Six moves for a historic -16.
Only got 9 out this week.
What happened?
That's all I needed.
What happened? the 8 was a shocker. And then the 16 was just some level of self-destruction that I wasn't ready for. I didn't see coming.
I hit the self-destruct button. That's what I did. It's like fucking Voltorb, just self-destruct. Suicide. Well, I did the early 8 because I never do. I don't think I've done moves on like Sunday
Monday,
in 3 years.
Yeah,
like honestly, I think it's been literally years.
We both never do it.
Yeah, so of course when I do, tears his ACL, no question about that. So the 12 for Alonso was already written, but basically I was then just looking at my team. Livermento had Liverpool and then really bad fixtures, and he just seemed like a really bad option. And I backed myself into my team structure. So I was thinking, like, what's the point of why would I not get someone who is somewhat decent? So I had no money really. And Lamptey, I took a -16 for Lamptey.
On a team you hate and a player that we just like never expect to last past 45 minutes. But that was actually like the best move in a 1 week vacuum. That was the best of all the moves. He banks his clean every game at 70.
He was playing striker.
He plays Reece James winger.
Insane.
Yeah.
He was playing as forward. Like he was just playing like Alonso, exact same Alonso, like second forward runner from the other side. He was insane.
You can actually see it like on the, I don't always look at them, but I sometimes look at the like pass maps. And Brighton's shape was just a 4-3-3.
Get the ball to Lamptey.
Yeah, like the back.
Right. That was
the back 5, quote unquote, was a 4. Kukurea was left back. Veltman was right back, and Lamptey was just right wing.
Right wing.
Yeah,
he was playing right wing the whole game. He was so good. So I'm very happy I did that at least.
Yeah.
But no, obviously it was a complete nightmare. There's no question. Kane and Son, like, come on. It's just the things just keep happening, so that's okay.
So how'd you feel when you woke up and you saw the canceled news? Match canceled.
I thought it was a joke. The Discord's such a nightmare, like usually. And, people are just like saying stuff that's just so obnoxious. It's like the lack of self-awareness is off the charts. It's just the internet chat room trolling everyone. And so I was just like, that was upsetting me more than usual. But, just the concept of a game in November being canceled because it's snowing instead of just using common sense and, we'll do 3 hour, delay it by 3 hours, or, it's I don't know.
One fucking hour. Like, that's
2
what
hours.
blew my mind is the first half of City was a fucking blizzard. The second half of Leicester was a fucking blizzard. The other halves weren't. Like, that's how long the storm lasted.
Yeah.
It was a 45-minute long blizzard. And that's
so, it's Burnley. Of course it's Burnley, as if I needed more reasons to hate Burnley more than I already did.
Yeah.
And, there are just so many things conspiring all the time. And I love it. I'm here for it. So I'm ready to see how bad my team does this midweek.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll all find out together.
Yeah, we're all gonna.
I'll dance for all of you listeners, as I have been doing, and I will continue to do.
Truly embracing the court jester mentality, and then we're gonna pod again on Thursday because then there's another game week on the weekend, so it's just madness right now.
What about you?
I went the other way. I got rid of my Brighton guy, my Cucurella 9-pointer out for Alonso. So obviously,
at bonus points, we could talk about bonus points, but he was not really near attacking points.
Yeah,
it was just all these defensive actions.
Yeah, that was part of why I was okay getting rid of him because he really is just like a clean sheet. Like, he's good on bones. Don't get me wrong, but anytime Brighton score, if they ever score again, which is maybe a big if that I should have considered more, he probably won't get bones because you know
what, they need to get Bumo.
Oh my god,
is there a better fit?
Bumo, Timo,
Trossard and Bumo
Neil
on the same team.
No, you need
destroying crossbars.
It's like a variation on fuck, marry, kill. It's like World Cup final. You have a player through on goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper. Like, do you want Bumo, Timo, Neil, or like Joe Linton? It's just like that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
Yeah.
But so I did that move, -7 on the week, but long term, hopefully Alonso keeps starting, and I think the points will come.
I would definitely marry Joelinton. Definitely.
And then so I got 59. I had a good week, above average, up 80K. I mean, my rank still sucks. It's like I feel like I'm doing well. My rank keeps going up. I have 6 out of the last 7 game weeks are green arrows. And I'm still 413K overall. It's just like so stupid, but
yeah, but you are in a good position, like to be able to get in the top 100K in the next like 8 game weeks is doable, and then you don't know from there. So I think you're in a really good position because your team is good.
My team's good,
mostly, and you just keep doing steady things. You've just been doing fine. So you should be able to have an actual good year for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I only made 1 move. I floated the other, so I'm still on 2 frees, and I have some bad players. Speaking of, Bumo just keeps blanking. Wolves are sputtering in the good fixtures. Fucking double Man City clean wipe with the literal last kick of the game.
That was a big tilter.
You'll love to see it.
Fernandinho just took it off.
I don't even know who to even blame. That's a one.
I blame him.
It's just a 1 in a trillion shot, though. Also,
but it should 1 in a trillion never have happened. He just was lackadaisical on the chest, and he just wasn't. He should have just chest clear immediately.
It's sort of been their problem in all of their like last minute clean wipes. It just seems like a lack of concentration or something.
Yeah, well, I mean,
whether
it's
Ederson or Stoney or Laporte or Dino, it's like.
I mean, the second goal like allowed the lack of concentration, but it's also a tilt when he comes in for fucking 10 minutes. Like, switch on. Like, don't switch off. How about don't switch off for 10 minutes? You don't play for a month.
I know.
It's hard. It
was so annoying. Especially like I feel like Cancelo's still probably kind of underowned, and the double up with Diaz is definitely like differential worthy. Like that's not that Cancelo, popular.
Yeah. Cancelo was on 7 before.
So, that would have been fucking. I would have had a huge week. I would have gone up like another 100K or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, that was 9 points you dropped.
Yeah, so that was really fucking annoying. I didn't even see it. I went to take a nap at like the 85th minute. Wake up and Derek's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I'm like, "Oh my god,
that was a mistake."
All right, let me update.
Maybe it wasn't a mistake.
Maybe it was me. Jinxing it, lighting the scar too early. Let me update the leagues. shout out to 3 Mug League Prize League leaders for November. 1 game week to go. Brian Van Bingelhosen still in first, aka Toss My Salad. Brian Dickinson, aka The Brian Attack in second, and Kieran Fitzpatrick, aka Giving It the Big N in third. And then shout out to the leader of the public league, Brendan Lane, aka Yes. He's up to 21st overall. Team name Yes. Do with that what you will. Yeah, he's a yes man. You know,
straightforward, to the point.
Where to begin? We got Jeff asking for Burnley hate, and we got Johnny Forrest who followed up and said, should we be careful about getting players in for Burnley games because they're incompetent fucks that apparently don't know about undersoil heating yet? Any additional words you want to throw on Burnley, or should we just, did we do that already?
I mean, there's so many different lines of, thinking that you can just go down like rabbit holes. It's just, to me, I still feel like the most sensible read on this is that they have like starters missing due to suspension, and they would rather do that against a shitty team like Wolves than a bad team like Spurs.
I was wondering what word you were going to use for Spurs.
That's just like the competitive edge that Dyche saw or something. It's really baffling.
The thing that I don't understand as a follow-up to that is that Dyche and Burnley famously, when they play, the Liverpools, the Cities, whatever, don't water the pitch. They just want it to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Just can't pass the ball. I would think they would love a snow game.
Don't
even shovel. Don't even shovel. Just a fucking 5 inches of snow. Yeah. No one can move. Yeah. Dream.
Good point. Yeah.
So I was just like, what is that? He like makes a scene of like, comes out, he's not even wearing a jacket, he's like a hard man. It's like,
yeah,
well, play the fucking game then, Sean. I don't know.
Man.
We can move on from them, but
yeah,
it was
just too upsetting.
It was just so stupid. But maybe we talk about Man City. Do it, Adman and Bill all asking what to do with Foden in a run of dense fixtures, and who to go to from Foden. Is there anyone other than Bilva and Gundo, or is that overthinking it? And you've all said, are either of you hot for Bernardo yet? So, yeah, I think Bilva and Gundo are getting like a lot of interest right now, and I don't know what the hell's up with Foden. We're not getting any truth, obviously, with whatever's happening with him.
Yeah, not being on the bench, I think, is a really big indicator. He wasn't on the bench midweek, but it sounds like he's still just doing individual stuff. I don't know if he's doing team training, but we obviously aren't going to get anything by like today, tomorrow, whatever. No. The game, the deadline's in 2 days. So, that's an issue. I thought that it was just bullshit and he was in a play. Like, cause it was, a important game, they're like fucking 2 points clear of them basically. It was a really big game. And I thought he was just being kind of protected midweek because he still played by my eye 100%. He got subbed early, obviously, but he wasn't showing any signs of injury.
Yeah, it was like nothing. Yeah.
He didn't come off like at half or anything. He just got subbed early against Everton, last weekend. So that was my going into it. I was like, oh, he's just going to start. Like Pep's just being fraudulent like he always is.
Yeah.
And, again, just not on the bench. So, I feel like it's not a great hold, but, you could also show me a team where it's like, if he doesn't play, you get this good defender off the bench instead. Like, you're fine. So maybe you do. But, other than Jota, there isn't an obvious, like, great pick in the below Foden price bracket. So if you already have Jota, I would be more inclined to hold him, I guess, but I'm not. I don't know. What do you think about it?
As we always say, it's a very hard one because it's so team dependent. Like like you said, like some people are 3 players deep on their bench and they're gonna get like Gallagher or something auto subbed if Foden doesn't play, and it's like, well, that's great. You don't have to worry about it. He's still a good pick, but yeah, I agree with you on the Jota point. I'm definitely Gundo curious. he could have had a lot more points. He finished with a double return in 13. He could have had like another assist or two. He just seems to be...
His assist was kind of bullshit.
It was. But he assisted, the one off the post and something else that was really close. And I just think we knew the finishing run that he went on last year was unsustainable. That was just obvious, but he's still basically doing the same shit with Kev out. And this seems like their best midfield by a mile to me. Just the Rodri, Gundo, Bilva, it just functions so well. Bilva and Gundo can both do everything that he asks of a free 8 on both sides. They both do a lot of work defensively also. And yeah, I mean, he's just going to keep popping up with goals here and there, I feel like. And he's probably on pens. There's not that many pens this year, but it helps. And I just feel like he's going to run him into the ground until he can't run anymore. And they don't really have bad fixtures until Chelsea in game week 22, which, they fucking dominated Chelsea last time they played him. So I don't even know if it's bad. I do like Gundo. I do.
Yeah, no, those are all really good points for Gundo. I like him more than Bernardo for sure. He's just, stats are just better, and he gets in the central positions like more. He's just Bernardo does a lot more, I feel like, of like the workman things, like to pull the ball out wide and do that kind of stuff. And he really gets like a chance a game, and he's not going to get the volume. He's obviously a really good player IRL, but for FPL, he just doesn't really do enough of the attacking action, final actions to be a good option for fantasy in my view. But I think Gundo is, especially while Kevin's out, Foden's out, Jack's out. I mean, they low-key have like no players. Their bench was really shocking, for City, but they just don't have really like player. They have like fucking Palmer
and Torres has drama too. Out. He's like asking to go to Barcelona or some shit
in January. They just don't have a lot of options. McAtee and Palmer are like legitimate startable. They might start games, in the next month. So, while that's happening, and Kev is still riddled, and, Jack looks like he's, weeks away, not days. Yeah, Gundo should be playing enough to be a good option. 7-2. So
yeah, I might be going to him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely an interesting option.
Yeah, he's like mastered that role of just being like the late runner and getting the one huge chance like centrally in the box.
Yeah, I mean they just take turns like playing 4 up top basically, and they always have either Foden or Raz or Mahrez or whoever like as the wide men, and then the players taking turns going central are is Bilv, Rodri sometimes even, and Gundo, and as long as that's happening, then they'll be getting chances. So
yeah, and like you said, the numbers are just not even remotely close. Gundo shoots more than twice as often as Bilv, and the XG is significantly higher for Bilv. Even the XA is significantly higher
for Gundo.
For Gundo. Yeah. So it's really not close. So yeah, I'm into that.
But the other thing though too about City though is, I mean, this isn't like Liverpool. I mean, they're not 4 or 5 goals this year at all. Really, they're just controlling games and just kind of passing it around, and they create a chance every like 10 minutes or so, and they just like metronome monotonously lull the game to sleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, it's not like, oh shit, let's get as many City attackers as we can. You can have one, none. Like I don't think it's like in years past where it's like, holy shit, if you don't have like 2 City attackers for this like good fixture block, you're fucked at all, Yeah,
I totally agree. It's picking up from last year where they did that. They're like, meticulous is a good word that you use. They just are like I don't know. Liverpool is like a hack and slash. There's blood everywhere, axe murderer, and City just
too much
freaky, creepy serial killers who are like clean with everything. But yeah, 7-2. I like it. There's not that many picks that I like right now. Let's talk about Liverpool. Only one question. Brian said, quick pool questions. Normally the Merseyside derby is shit for FPL, but are Everton so bad now that you'd cap? They're playing Everton this week. And is Jota kind of bad for Mo? I think the latter has a more creative role now, but I need Alon's input. Also, just throwing in Trent is also outscoring Mo in 3 straight games, which is interesting.
Well, Trent was the worst player on the pitch for Liverpool last game. But
Mo.
I mean, Mo did create...
that right side of like Mo, Trent, Konate were bad. Yeah.
Mo did create like a few, though. You know, he was still very lively and active. I thought he was good. Yeah,
I guess it's all relative. Because for him, he was bad, but for a normal player, he was really good still.
He was doing a lot.
Is Jota bad for him? I mean, you could make the case. I haven't looked at the historic numbers of when they play together. I'd be surprised if Mo's numbers were worse or anything close to being below great when Jota's in there. But I have thought recently he's been kind of, obviously slowed down from the start in Champions League and in the league. He's kind of just been wider, it almost hurts him that he's just such a team player. If the job at hand is you just get chalk on your boots, occupy 3 defenders wide, shuffle the ball inside and Liverpool keep winning, he'll just do that. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, you watch back the Southampton game or the highlights even, he could have triple returned.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there's much to it.
I mean, it's also, I don't know how much what are you looking to prove to say he's better or worse than with Jota, right?
I guess it's just captaincy.
Obvious. I mean, he's obviously worse when Jota's playing than when Bob's playing because Jota is actively bad at passing and creating chances. And all he does is press and run into the central areas and get into those scoring positions. So by definition, he's taking up spots that Mo could be taking up and not passing because he doesn't pass. So that's bad, right? I mean, that is the like-for-like switch. So yes, but Mo is still stats off the page, still creating, still getting a lot of shots with Jota in the team. He's been getting all these, he fucking returns every game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that also is kind of ridiculous to say, So
yeah, I guess it's just cap. I think that would be the only time this argument would be applicable to FPL would be Bob's out, Jota. I mean, Mo's gonna have less scoring chances. If this is the conclusion that you come to, maybe I'll look elsewhere for a cap. But anytime I think about not capping Mo, I go back to what you were just saying with City. It's just no team in the league is Liverpool this season in terms of scoring. No one's close to their attack right now. It just seems like they're going to score 4 every game. And until that's not the case, it's really hard for me to be I'm going to captain, Spurs guy or a Chelsea guy or Vardy or, whoever who are just you have
no idea what they're going to give you on any given day.
And I feel the team's going to score maybe 2 unless, Bachman's in goal or whatever. But
yeah. No, I mean, Mo's blanked once all year. It's just, he keeps, returning every game and, coming close to double return games every game. And it's a joke. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that, it's very frustrating, watching Jota with Mo because Jota just only does one thing. And, it just makes the whole team. Mo definitely is more a creative. I mean, it's even Mane. Mane is not, he doesn't love passing. I mean, Mo definitely takes on more, I think, of a creative outlet when it's him, Mane, and Jota because Jota can't and Mane seemingly hates to.
Yeah. No, I mean, Mo's creativity has always been kind of underrated.
Yeah.
When
Dude, he has 9 assists.
I know. Yeah, no, he's just when we're flowing, he's just a monster. He's an absolute monster. What a fucking player he is.
Yeah.
What's up with the premium forwards? I mean, Gub said with Ronaldo not certain to start, Spurs still being poo, is Vardy the last man standing for premium forwards, or do we just fuck them all off? I mean, Lukaku came back as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a Kane owner. I think a lot of people have Kane. You absolutely hold for Brettenham Norwich, but any of those names move the needle for you? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've had like Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Kane for the last, since game week 4 basically or so, and I think I've gotten 1 goal from all of them combined.
Yeah, I think that's right.
They've ruined my season. I mean, if I had to point to one thing, it's that.
Yeah, putting that much money and your wild card and transfers into that. Yeah.
When I could have had Dennis, and he's gotten more points than all of them combined for fucking $2 million, however much he costs.
Dennis is a god.
Yeah. But, it's obviously also really illogical and not helpful to throw some generalization on like premium forwards are bad forever because they haven't scored over it's like, all right, dude, like relax.
Yeah.
But Kane's got the good couple fixtures coming up. So if they play, I don't know, it might snow in London. So we'll see. Ronaldo.
I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, they're a fucking mess. I don't know. I need to see, they didn't function today at all. I need to see them play well for like 1 game before I even, open their team page up in FPL. I don't think I've done that for at least a month.
Yeah.
And Lukaku, just I want to see it now. I know he's a world-class player, but there is something to just the way that the system plays. And, we were kind of murmuring about it when we both owned him, about how he just occupied center backs and didn't move and just came and pulled deep a little bit, laid off, and then the fucking wing back score every goal.
Yep.
And I need to, I don't really know if that's going to change, and until it does, then I don't want to spend money on that player really. And he's not even on pens. So, there's not a lot to like there. So, the names don't really fill you with confidence. And,
Vardy is, we've spent so many years talking about Vardy and how, if you get him, you just like make your bed with him and fucking hold him because you never know when the goals are going to come. His goals were ridiculous against Watford, and, he'll finish with a lot of them. He's fine. He's totally fine. He's always fine.
Yeah. You just have to hold him. He's not someone that you, jerk in and out.
Yep.
He's just something else. Don't even think about. Don't even like consider that he's in your team. Just I have Vardy. I'm a Vardy owner, and I don't. I mean, if you do cap, Godspeed.
I don't even know.
He does score against the shitty ass teams.
I guess, yeah.
There is something maybe there. If you home Newcastle in a few games.
Yeah, I like that.
But. Yeah, I mean, the names are dwindling.
Yeah.
And, Mane and Mo are about to fucking go to Africa for a little while.
Yeah. The Lukaku thing is the most interesting. I mean, just from like a football perspective, because it just shows how like delicate team structure and build up and scoring moves are, that you can't just drop someone as good as Lukaku into a already really good Chelsea team of last season and it doesn't just like automatically work and they're fucking amazing. It's just like really interesting to watch that develop over the season.
Yeah.
Because when Kai's in, they score goals and win games. Doesn't really matter what he does in terms of his goal scoring. The team plays well every time.
Yeah. Yes, I mean it's the movement,
Movement and passing and just all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean today, you watch team up play and they just don't function. And it's it's no surprise. We've been watching this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
But it's very
especially
startling.
Like alone up to, oh god, they were fucking, that game was rip your eyes out. Just awful.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Tuchel's lucky there's a game, tomorrow, but this was the worst game that he had as a manager since he got there, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He left the subs too late. The team was wrong. And, the plan was just really fucked. And it was almost like he was surprised that Man United did the thing that, Man United did last year, the year before, nonstop, which is just park a bus and do nothing.
Yeah.
And they created more chances for Man United than they did for their own team. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, Ole's assistant did the Ole thing. It's like fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, no Mount, ridiculous. No Kai was ridiculous. I mean, unless
he's hurt. Yeah.
There's just no point. I'm sorry. Just don't put him on the bench. If he can't play, you would have. He didn't even sub him.
The mind games, dude.
Yeah, but Carrick has a fucking mind.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
I mean, Loftus-Cheek was so bad, so slow with the ball. It just, it was just so ponderous. The whole game was just Ziyech played really badly, and again, the subs. Could have made a sub at half, and then another one at 60. Would have probably won him the game.
Yeah, probably win. Yeah,
leaving him out so late. It's just there's so many things that were so ridiculous, and Jorginho is obviously disgusting, and. Yeah, it was just really bad.
We've said it before, but he'll have one of the greatest all-time low-light reels.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not a fucking good player. He's a really good player and vital to the Chelsea team. But
he gets caught out.
His errors are just...
They're so bad.
Astronomically bad, hysterical fuck-ups.
Yeah. I thought Barkley could have subbed on. I mean, I don't know.
They have so many options.
Pulisic plays 10 minutes. Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, Cho, Werner, 0 out of 10s. All of them.
It's
they were all so
cup
bad.
Team or some shit.
It was like a League Cup. It was just, I don't know. I would be interested to see. I hope they have some Chelsea people on on Coach Home or something. Because I would be interested to hear some Chelsea people that are plugged into. Because I was surprised because it was the kind of game that I don't expect from Tuchel because I think he's a good manager.
Yeah.
But it was just the things were so obvious, screaming out. It was Vieira keeps playing like Milivojevic and Kouyaté. It's how much longer is this going to happen? Another game. Great. It's what, why? It's mind blowing.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah. Alonso was good though.
Yeah, I mean, he should keep starting. He didn't do anything wrong. He was good. And
maybe their best player.
Yeah, so hopefully that happens.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering about the whipping boys, which is sort of touching on the new managers also, because, Norwich all of a sudden back-to-back wins. I mean, Cayley put it when he posted the XG is probably their best defensive performance in 4 or 5 years. They just held Wolves to absolutely nothing.
Oh.
Still.
Is that...
Yes, it is.
But they're playing a fucking shitty ass team with one attacker.
They play Wolves every year. They're in the Premier League and have never done anything close to this. And they play worse teams than Wolves and don't do this. Dino's doing something.
Wolves fucking suck.
Oh my god, they can't attack. But and then Villa, all of a sudden, they're not playing expansive attacking football, but they look tight. They're hard to break down. They limited Palace. I don't know. It's just kind of a mental change that I feel we all have to make. And I look at Watford and Newcastle now as the teams where I'm that's who I want to captain against. Yeah. Number 1 and 1A and 1B are those two teams now.
I agree with you completely. I still feel Leeds are diabolical, and I feel been getting lucky or something.
They're so weird.
They've been catching teams at the right time or something. They have had just come off a pretty good fixture run.
Yeah.
But the teams that they are playing, the players that they are putting on the fucking field are laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
They're not Premier League team. They're not even championship. They're just fucking insane.
They just don't get battered. Game week 1, they give a 5 to Man United. Game week 4, they concede 3 to Liverpool. No other more than 2s. Tons of 1s. They concede 1 goal a game for fun.
That's they've had such. I don't know how they've played. It seems they played. Their fixtures have been so good though. They haven't played any good teams since Liverpool game week 4. Basically,
I guess the answer is from 16 on. They're at Chelsea, at City, home Arsenal, at Liverpool.
Yeah, okay, they could concede 15 in those 4.
Yes, they
really. I feel they're getting away with it. But yes, I agree with you. Definitely Watford. I mean, Bachmann is not good. He's not a good player. He's not a good player.
Some of those were not his fault, though. I know that everyone was saying he was so bad on those, but the fucking idiot guy who let the ball drop over his head, what? How? And what world is that on Bachmann?
No, I mean that's fine, but the first 4 games of the season.
No,
yours truly had it. I mean,
yes,
he's fucking
the data
bad.
does not shine brightly on him. He seems like he's really bad. I just don't think today was like Bachmann diff. Like Foster would have held down the fort and they win that game or some shit.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I mean the midfield, like this is the thing we've been talking about with them, right? Is that just their midfield has been really, really lackadaisical defensively. They have the old guy who is banned.
Yeah.
Luza played well the other day, but they don't have like good play. He goes on adventures all the time.
Yeah. He's not like defensive really.
Yeah. Their midfield is just not stout at all. And they don't have the personnel to play a stout midfield. Yeah. So they kind of have to do this thing, which is play open, concede a lot and try and score a lot. And
it's actually like, I think it speaks very highly of Ranieri that he's like going with this because of what you just said. Like if they tried to like hunker down and just be a nightmare, like
clean sheet, just lose 2-0 every game.
Yeah, like their defenders are really bad. Yeah. Their keepers are bad. Their midfield's bad. Yeah, it just like wouldn't work. And Dennis is popping off. King looks good. Like, Sarr was out, but he's good. And Cucho, and they just have like some young, fun guys. And they're such a good team to captain against because they're just going to try and outscore you.
Yeah. And Newcastle too. I mean,
I
don't know if they can outscore anyone, but
they're going to try.
Oh my God. That was really, really, well, I mean, okay. The Leeds performance against Brighton was special. They were so bad. But Newcastle against Arsenal was actually insane. That was a performance of professional men playing football in the Premier League. They were insane how bad they were. It was like almost like Chelsea today, almost as bad as Chelsea today.
And
every single player on every single one of their players was awful.
He put pen to paper and was like, "This is the 11 to go to Arsenal and win."
And it's just John Joe taking 7 shots, no one else shoots, and they just can't.
Take St. Max like far away from the box and as wide as possible. Our best player,
St. Max, left back. Don't even get in a place to be an out ball. Just get the ball in our own third.
Yeah. Yep.
Callum, dive in the box every time you get in there. Just dive. That's all you're allowed to do. Just dive. Insane. So I mean, that was watching that. They have Norwich and then Brenham coming up. Do you even want a piece of that?
I'm still Callum and St. Max curious.
Yeah, or well, they Burnley, not Brenham.
Just because of the they just have to, they have to win. Like they just have to score and they have to win. Like they're in 20th. Like Norwich is no longer in 20th. Like that is the most shocking thing you could ever say about a team with the way Norwich played the first 10 matches of the season.
Yeah.
They still don't have a win. Newcastle.
Yeah. John Joe did look really good though. I fucking love him so much. He's so good. He's just
what
so
an amazing legendary player that we get to watch his entire career. And he's just so weird and it's really good at a few things and absolutely abysmal at everything else.
He's great.
You'd love to see it. In youth, he was probably just banging them in from 25 yards for fun.
I mean, that one save that Rammers had was nuts.
Insane.
The fingertip to the bar. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I think, also coming back to the beginning of your point there on reallocating our minds to Villa and what was the other one?
Norwich.
Norwich, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not there on Norwich yet. I just think that the players are really bad and they are just bouncing in this moment.
Yeah.
I don't think that the names on the backs of the shirts are going to really like over the long haul, like continue to play well, week on week.
I agree. No, it's still a good fixture. It's just not maybe
not banker. Yeah. I mean, I think it's still out of control good for a clean sheet, but they have been playing better defensively. So, in terms of them bending over and conceding like 4 or 5, they are, getting healthier again. And, Norman, that could be a problem because he's like been their best player. But yeah, defensively, it looks like, that they're not the absolute worst thing in the world, but I still think they're bad. But yeah. Villa, though, I mean, what's up, Dennis?
No, I was just gonna say, go back to Dennis really quick, just because we actually Owen wrote in. He said Dennis at 5-3 and 11% ownership. Is that being under discussed? Watford are a wild ride, but currently swinging on their way down, and Dennis has one less point than Antonio. I mean, Dennis is doing insane things right now.
They have Chelsea and City coming up, so relax on that. But he should have had more than 2 returns today. I mean, he was everywhere. He was just fucking shitting all over King from a FPL standpoint. King getting the pen.
The pen, yeah.
He's also a mad lad. He's like, he rips his shirt off when he already has 5 yellows and then the game's well over.
Why not?
Because he can't control himself. But
that's what they love about him.
Yeah, no, I mean 5-3 after the City game. I mean, how could you concoct an argument that he's not a fine starter?
Absolutely,
you cannot do that.
I totally agree. I said that from like day one, just because we never get a starting forward at 5.
Well,
it's very, very, very rare.
He was in his somewhat reverse out of position, but
yes.
Yeah, no, a 5 million starting forward is very rare. I mean,
and then
what happened last year with Brewster.
Oh man. Then we kind of just lucked out that they hired Ranieri and are playing in this style.
In this style, exactly.
Yeah, it's like it's just all of these things coming together that make it a really just great pick. I mean, my brother's team has gotten him auto sub back-to-back weeks because my brother's team, that's just the type of stuff that happens to my brother's team. But yeah, I mean, bench guy or fucking starter is pretty good. He's gotten a 14 and a 10 auto sub back to back from Dendale.
It's pretty good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, after City, it's the kind of thing that you could look at your team and try and, future plan for.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can, put a really cheap spot in my 11th spot to, plump out the rest of my team, and go for that. And, I think, I have to do more like looking into him versus King because they're kind of the same price. They're only 0.3 different. And I am inclined to think like King's better, but that is probably just because I'm like, I know him better.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually like
his numbers are a lot better. King's.
Yeah. He has had really good. I mean, today Dennis was out of control. King was kind of decoying his life away, but it was a weird game today, to be fair. So, I mean, I think even maybe even both of them. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem that crazy. But you were going to say something about Villa. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of the worst attacking fixtures in the league now. They played with 1.5 attackers. They had Bailey
and Ollie.
0.5 and 0.5 and Ollie.
Oh, come on. Ollie's an attacker.
He's just a presser, as long as he's doing this, it's just one of the worst, attacking fixtures just by a lot. Really, really boring to watch them play.
Oh yeah.
Oh
awful,
my God.
Awful game. I can't believe
really
it was like second on match of the day. And I was like, why is this here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, there's not much to say about them. I think it would be more. It's interesting because they have like the bad fixtures for the next few, so it's like when they get better in game week 17. They have Norwich and then they have a pretty good run starting from 17. Is he still going to be playing with all these defenders? Right. So you want the defenders, or is he going to start playing with the attackers? And then we have to like try and figure out. Who's a good attacker and who's like, is Ollie going to be good? Maybe.
Yeah. I think that's exactly, I think you're nailing it. That's like absolutely the thing to watch because right now, if you were to project, you would say Target and like maybe even Ashley Young, who plays double out of position. Like, is he just their left winger now? Because he's a 4-7 defender in the game.
Yeah. He's like a bad Lamptey.
He takes their frees and shit. And it's like ridiculous. But yeah, no, I think what you're saying is absolutely right because
Young can't.
We don't really know like what Stevie's final form is, but Yeah, he came in and said, when I talked to Derek on Friday Night Live, he said he's going to just like tighten it up. That's first thing. And so that's exactly what he's doing. So yeah, I'm with you there. And Sa just gets fucking 20 points a game too. We mentioned Wolves D on the last pod, but you don't want your FPL players going up against Wolves. Sa is a fucking monster. Absolute monster.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sa's gotten a save point in every game except 2.
Yeah.
And the 2 he didn't were Brentham Newcastle because it's fucking Brentham Newcastle.
I don't know. I mean, Wolves are back in my blind spot.
They are weird. They're definitely weird. Any other games you want to talk about? I mean, we were light on questions. Fast turnarounds are weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Liverpool game was, what we expect. I mean, I thought my team was, really upsetting.
Yeah.
Our balance is like really fucked up, and it's really Vieira's starting to get a little bit on my nerves because he's just, I feel like he's kind of like sticking with principles or something, or just like being like really stubborn and not really. I don't know. It's just like he does like really weird things. Like Kuyate and Milivojevic it's just insane. I don't understand how anyone with
it's really bad
that's watched football games before watches them play a game and says like, oh yeah, this can work. Like in what world can it work? It cannot work. It doesn't work at all.
Well, especially with how you guys have been playing for the previous 11 games. That's more to the point, I feel like, because it's like, if he was trying to tighten up or you guys were on a bad run and he's switching it up and putting the minutes of whatever, he's trying stuff. But like the way Maka and Gallagher were working together with a holder behind them was working, and you guys are fucking awesome and picking up points. And then he does this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that, I mean, Tompkins, he played fine, he's fucking James Tompkins, but you still look at the team. It's like, okay, Kuyate is a better center back than James Tompkins. So, why wouldn't you just put him at center back, which is what he's been doing for the last 2 years,
right? And
then play Milivojevic and, play Gallagher and then play Schlupp,
Yeah, if you hate Will Hughes, play Schlupp. Yeah.
I mean, play fucking anybody else, it's just, but you take the passer out with Anderson in the back. So we only have Gehi. You have Kuyate in there. You can't fucking pass. So our spine can't pass, and Milivojevic can't move. So he's like gets some play. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. It was it's ridiculous.
It was the whole thing was ridiculous.
Game. Yeah, it was a really bad game, and he sub too late, and Eze was really really bad. I get it. He hasn't played for a year, but don't play him for 30 minutes. He subs Edward for 5 minutes all the time. Give Eze 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The game is in the balance. Don't throw him on to try and win it for you when he hasn't played in a year. He was just terrible. There were just so many issues.
You had this, the City and Wolves results were incredible, and then back to back pretty bad with the Burnley 3-3 where you guys were just a fucking mess, and the Villa game was awful. So, and a little bit of a downswing right now, but you do have Leeds.
We have Leeds, but I mean, to me, it's, I'm back to, he needs to prove to us that he can pick the right team because, without MacArthur, he's playing these two shithouses, and, I don't believe he's not going to do it again. I expect him to do it again, which is upsetting to say, but, that's what my feel is, I feel like he's going to just start. He's going to start Milivojevic. He's going to start Kuyate again.
Yeah.
And, if that's what he's going to do, then we're not going to function.
Yeah.
So
seems bad for Gallagher and Benteke and Will Fauners for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Benteke is just bad, period. He just gets away with it. He shouldn't be playing. He should not be starting. He shouldn't have been starting. He should never start. He shouldn't. I mean, if Edward's fit, he should never start. He shouldn't start. It's ridiculous. Play Elise, play Schlupp at right wing. You have Wilf, Edward, Schlupp. Now Eze's back. I use better than Benteke. Like Benteke doesn't even.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to draw the line at Ayu.
Benteke doesn't move. He stands up. We concede 2 goals a game on set pieces. He doesn't help there.
Yeah.
He doesn't move. He just stands still.
He scored some goals, though.
But the problem is that all he can do is stand there for headers as a statue.
He's like your Ronaldo.
Yes, exactly.
But
the whole rest of the team wants to keep it on the ground.
Right,
and
right.
Like you put Edward in there move players around, and like you're a more dynamic team with so many more questions.
I mean, I agree Edward's better, but I draw the line at Ayew. I don't know about Ayew.
I mean, I think that I would take Ayew on the right wing, Edward center, rather than Benteke and Edward. No question. Okay. I would want Ayew.
I thought you
over
meant
Benteke.
Ayew like down the middle, like lone.
No, right wing.
Okay.
But Edward,
okay.
Zaha.
Yeah.
Zaha,
I agree with
Edward.
that. I agree with that. At least
And
Ayew fucking works and like presses and like does that kind of stuff. Yeah. He adds to the collective.
Yeah, and I mean, and Olise, he didn't play very well, but he was kind of isolated. We have so many options. It's upsetting because we have like the pieces, and he's just like, I'm like, God, I just like, he's got so fucking pissed off.
That's all good, dude. It's still been like a great season, though. You know, all things considered. So
I know
he'll figure it out.
And he keeps, all of a sudden he stops playing Edward.
Yeah, I know.
He's been our best player.
That was out of nowhere.
Best player. Every game he started, he's our best player. I mean Gallagher, but like in the front three, he's been our best front three players.
Yeah.
Every game, and he's just done that. He doesn't play.
I'll go back to it. I believe.
I hope so.
Any other games you want to touch on, or should we just jump to our teams?
I don't know. Yeah, we're running long. I guess we can get out of here.
What are you looking at for moves?
Well, I mean Foden. I don't know. What do you think I should do with Foden?
Well,
because I don't have Jota still.
Yeah, you should just obviously get Jota.
Should I just do that?
I've been saying for like the last 3 pods that he's the best pick in the game, and you should. Yeah. I mean, you should just do. I think everyone should just get Jota number 1 priority.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do that, and then I'm thinking about taking a hit to get rid of Tony.
The thing with Jota is that there's the Bob injury, obvious, but I feel like no one else is talking about the fact that when the guys go away from AFCON, he's also nailed.
Yeah, for a couple.
He's gonna play. He should, in theory, play like 80% of the next like 10 fixtures.
Yeah, I think the more problematic thing there is like, are they going to be worth a damn when that's happening?
I still think he'll get chances and score goals.
Yeah, I mean he's cheap enough, but I mean, I'm just as a counterpoint to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, Jota, great pick. So yeah, I mean, it seems like
unless you feel like hitting again and keeping Foden.
No, I'm planning on hitting.
So then, if you want to keep Foden, then I have no problem if you hit someone else. I mean,
well, I still can't get him though, unless if I got rid of Son. Which I don't really want to do.
Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, getting rid of Son might not be bad, to be honest.
No, it might be fine, but
he does have Brentford, Norwich.
Yeah, but like, I mean, this was kind of I wanted to give
and a double game week, I guess.
Yeah, well, probably not for a fucking long ass time. So
I have no idea.
I don't know. I did really want to try and do my best to be patient with Kane and Son for the good fixtures.
Yeah.
So
I think we should. Yeah. So I would do the Foden move. Yeah, I would do that.
All right. But I was also thinking about hitting Tony out because he seems like just a bad pick right now to me.
After a 9 and a 6?
Yeah, I mean a pen where he didn't take a shot.
Yeah.
The team has been playing exceptionally poorly every single game, for the last like month and a half.
Yeah,
since the Chelsea
disagree.
Game,
yeah,
they've been just playing really badly, and he's really good, but he's just doing hold up shit. And it's nice during the pile up because he's playing every minute.
That's kind of what I was gonna say. Like for 6-7 nailed pens, he's not gonna light it up by any stretch of the imagination. But I feel like he's fine enough that like
unless there's
someone you're really targeting, yeah.
Well, where I'm also at is like, I'm not really wanting to just be okay with like, I'm fucking doing so badly. So am I sitting here like, oh, I'm going to just plod along, Spurs, not a great fixture. Oh, he'll probably get 2. It's okay. Like fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Like I give a fuck.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Okay.
So I was looking at St. Max. I was looking at St. Max.
Yeah, I've been staring at St. Max.
Yeah,
not just looking.
So I mean,
I'm stalking St. Max.
I
can do a Kai Huang to Gundo St. Max. Like I can just
that's
rip
good.
that. How is that not good?
Yeah, that's good. Because I mean, even Leicester is better than Norwich and Burnley. Leicester's the best fixture in the league. How are we not talking about that?
We actually haven't talked about that somehow. They have no idea what they're doing.
They're so bad.
They play like Watford. Which makes sense, right? Ranieri lineage.
They're so fucking bad. It's hilarious watching them play. Watching them defend is just ridiculous.
No idea what they're up to. No idea.
So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, and that's what you're reasonable looking at too. Thing. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, something along the lines of Huang to Callum or St. Max, or maybe I'll find another forward that I'm interested in, but I don't think there will be another forward that I feel good with Dennis's fixtures. And then Kai out is very obvious at this point. I mean, I agree with your assessment that I think I just don't think he was fit because it was just the most obvious Kai game ever. And he starts Timo up top by himself, which he never does.
4 goals. They would have scored 4 goals if Kai played.
Easy.
I have no doubt.
No doubt in my mind. They dominate and destroy it. I mean, they did dominate.
They did dominate. It was a ridiculously non-competitive game.
They missed or got every shot blocked.
All their good chances went to their fucking center back, Rudiger, which is their big problem.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. I'll look around and see if there's another forward or mid that I want more, but I don't think there is. Off the top of my head.
Wait, because you're gonna keep Jim. So you're gonna keep Jim. And you're going to keep Broja?
Well, Broja's just like a bench guy, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. And then next week, after Burnley, I'll get rid of Jim. So I guess I should figure out who I want for Jim next week and make sure I have money for them. Because Jim has home Burnley, which is incredible fixture, even for Wolves. And then he's an urgent fucking get rid of immediately.
Next week.
Yeah, for game week 15.
Okay.
So that's when I'll do Jim out.
Okay.
So I could also just do Kai to Gundo float, knowing that I'm going to need a transfer for Jim in 15, you know?
Yeah,
and then I have a mill in the bank. Huang's home Burnley. It's not that bad.
I think that's better.
It's probably better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's better.
It's I
mean, I think you need to get rid of Bumo too. He's fucking awful.
Well, he's just probably going to ride the bench. That's the thing. The position that my team is in is I don't need to rely on Bumo.
Yeah.
For starter. And he's just going to keep hitting the crossbar and getting 2-pointers, but he's still a good bench guy. He's a fucking really good bench guy. So
no, he's not, but
you know what I mean?
He's a bench guy.
On paper. On paper, good bench guy.
Yeah. I think I prefer that.
Yeah, that's a lot smarter, I think. Yeah. I'm just I see the Newcastle and I'm just oh, maybe they're going to just fall, but yeah, I should probably calm down.
Yeah. I wasn't joking, but Lamptey is an actually ridiculous pick.
Incredible pick.
Absolutely. I mean, he's
such a good pick.
He's just the advantage of subbing early is so good for the defender to bag potential.
Good.
Get out of garbage time conceding because they don't score, so they're always in a tight game. And I mean, he was legitimately getting into positions that he was playing forward. If you don't watch the game, and even if you just caught highlights. But
the thing that you would say to me if I was talking about a Brighton forward right now is that you forgot he plays for Brighton. I don't disagree. I think he's an amazing pick, but it's not like the assists are going to start piling up or something like that.
No, I mean, but at the same time, I mean, he's 4-4.
Yeah, he's cheap.
I mean, he's their best player.
Why is he 4-4?
Well, I don't know. He started 4-5. He was injured. He dropped the price thing, but I don't know. But he's their best player also,
he's so good.
He's so much. this was the best game I've ever seen him play.
Really?
Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel
easily. And, we owned him last year, like for basically when he was fit, we owned him. This was the best game I've ever seen him play.
I just think he's an amazing player. Actually, amazing player.
He's amazing.
He really
is. He's so fucking good.
He really is.
So,
he's going on the podcast cover art. There's no question.
Yeah, I mean, the fixtures, they have West Ham, Southampton, which is good. Well, West Ham's really good too. West Ham haven't played well for 2 months. Spurs, Wolves, Man United, Brentford. They play with fucking 7 defenders and they just try and kill games. They don't score.
Yep.
They only have like 4 or 5 cleans on the season, not any great shakes. But when you have him, playing double out of position with the chance of having 75, 70-minute clean sheets
on the whatever they are, 5th best defense in the league, or
Yeah, and I mean, Webster it was very, very windy, the game against Leeds. Webster was very bad. He was so bad in possession. It was crazy how many fucking times he was passing to Leeds. But this was the first game also. They play with their best back 5. They have no Duffy. Duffy's finally on the bench. Yeah. They're fit.
Honestly,
they have
Veltman is sort of the key, because he like slides so effortlessly to basically just right back when they're in possession, and he can actually move the ball up, and he's really key to what they do.
And he has some form of recovery pace.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So I mean, they have their back 3. They have Lamptey and then Cucurella. I mean, Basuma's fit. Like they could go on a good little run right now
of cleans,
of keeping some cleans and shit. I feel like Lamptey is just like a cheat code. Like I feel like he's a fucking insane.
I just don't feel like I'm getting that far ahead if I were to say do Ben White to Lamptey.
I think you would be. Yeah, I think that's a huge upgrade.
I don't think so. I think in my head,
you're relying on Rammer's worldies for these cleans, and White hasn't had a fucking attacking return in his life.
Yeah.
So
I don't expect him. Yeah. No, but I also don't really expect him for Lamptey.
But okay, that's fine. But when you watch that, you expect him to get an attacking return in that game. You watch that game, that's like 9 out of 10 times there's an attacking return in that game.
Wild card, or in made up make believe land, 1 million out of 1 million times I take Lamptey over Ben White. No question. Yeah. I just don't know if a guy who very, very rarely is going to start for me, only in a good fixture, in the way that my team is currently constructed, will very rarely start for me. I mean, he came off the bench this week, but I just don't know if like doing my 4-4 to a way better 4-4 is like making my team much better than having an extra transfer next week when I'm like potentially double moving Jim out or whatever. Yeah. It's a tough call. I'm just not sure. Yeah,
I understand. I mean, so one thing I want to go back to is like expecting, like, okay, semantics of what the word expect means is one thing, fine. But when you watch Lamptey play, like he has very good chance of getting an attacking return any single game he plays.
Yes, absolutely.
He gets no garbage time goals, good defense. Like he has so many things going for him. White is so limited. Like he's just such a limitation of, okay,
2
best
or
case they keep a
7.
Clean. Yeah.
That's basically his range.
2 or 7 where Lamptey looks at, I mean, he could have 2 assists this weekend. He created, 2 or 3 big chances. I mean, he's upsides of 15, and when he still plays well, he gets bonus point. He's just a much better pick there. And then you could reshuffle your money to put that White spot as Lamptey in a start every week spot, and then shed some money off the bench, and then turn Bumo into Gundo and Bilva or something.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I think that is just something.
It's an interesting reshuffle to consider.
Lamptey's worth putting in your 11. I think in FPL he's very, very, very good. Like very good pick.
I think I'm also a little bit scarred because I expect him to just like be injured every game.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Yeah. He gets injured, you just transfer him. Fine.
Yeah.
But right now he's
while he's rolling.
It was really ridiculous. It was a really ridiculous performance. I mean, his movement, he was running inside and outside of Firpo. Firpo should have gotten 2 yellow cards in the first half. Didn't get the second one.
He didn't get ripped the fuck off.
He ripped him off at halftime. he was just, it was ridiculous. You know, it was just really just insane. And they were double teaming. He was still running fucking them all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, I think Lamptey's, you know, it's Lamptey's.
I got to bring the Lamptey emote back to Discord is what this all means to me.
He was really nuts.
He's such a little fucking legend. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to think about that. We got 2 new signups, 2 new asses to slap or flying right now. We got Bent Schleipfenbauer and someone called That's Not Where I Parked My Car. Good job, but you don't slap that ass. All right, bro. Next game week is, you know, very fucking soon. It's like 36 hours from now or something. Yeah. Any last words?
Max Scherzer are close to finalizing a multi-year contract.
That's the last word for you. All right, see you tomorrow, brother. Check us out at FMLFL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFL, support us at patreon.com/FMLFL. Subscribe, rate, review.